All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Space Brothers, episode 36. All right.
We're calling people.
Makabe made it.
Yes.
Fantastic. Awesome. Now, the next person. Muta, I get the feeling you'll be, like, conveniently last.
I agree.
And you'll just be stressing over this so much, watching that phone, and you'll have hairs falling out by the time you actually get it.
Don't worry, like, that man's hair is, like,
he
eternal.
has plenty to spare,
Yeah.
thankfully.
Uh-huh.
But, okay.
But, yeah, this might add, like, you know, or more accurately, like, take away a couple days off your lifespan,
Yeah.
you know, just the overall just stress about it. But
so, do
yeah.
we actually see his results this episode? I don't know, because
We'll
I feel
see.
like that might be the cliffhanger of the episode, but...
It was, I think, our prediction that it would be the cliffhanger of this episode.
Yep.
Maybe. But the show could surprise us. The last episode was one of my favorite episodes in the series. It was incredible.
Yep.
If we wanted to go in depth with another character in the same way, Serica would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
For that.
Well, and that's... See,
So
I would love that.
I would also be very happy with just,
Right.
let's push Muta off to the side. Who's Muta?
Right.
Yeah.
I'd love it, because last episode was incredible. But also, we could theoretically get that with all the characters. Wouldn't that be great? And then Muta is just way over there, like, eventually.
2 minutes have passed, you know?
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
oh,
'cause,
boy.
I mean, from the guy's perspective, this is just him calling people up really quickly and just being like, you made it in.
Yeah.
You made it in. You made it in. You didn't make it in, you know?
Right.
So, yeah. All right, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
発表が始まってからしばらく経った。
Yup.
一人ずつ順番に電話してくるとはいえ、ずいぶん待たせる。
Yeah, I knew it.
See, we would have stuff like that because of our last name, where it's like, oh, yeah, okay, alphabetical.
さあ来るぞ。
Yeah. That's so real. That's so real.
It'll be 3, 2, 1 right now.
It's time to eat my jello. Yes.
He's gonna stuff a big amount of it in his mouth when they call.
Meanwhile,
もう電話する時間過ぎちゃってるけどね。まだ決まんないね。
what he assumes is actually happening,
Yeah.
but it's actually like,
さすがにそれはねえ
no.
か。
Not quite.
But you still went there and thought about it.
早く電話してくれ。
Rub Oppo on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh,
ケンジにはもう
Don't be on
連
him,
絡行ったかな。
I know that'd be a lot of
どうだっ
luck.
たんだろうケンジ。
No.
それからセリ
It's
カ
a
さ
sign
ん。
of love if the animal like puts its butt anywhere near your face. Like,
Keep telling yourself that.
sorry, as a cat owner, I and have you know, yeah, we're having a Serica episode.
Yeah, all right.
Called it. It just
Yeah.
makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Let's just go in depth with Serica.
Right.
You know,
第1号は真壁。
the first call.
It took an hour.
Yep.
さて、お次は。
No, see, it said, yeah.
Oh my god.
Are you kidding me? He is using it to decide who to go next.
で楽しい網だく。
Yeah, Serica. Okay.
And her paper was next on the stack. How convenient.
So it's 12:15. Muta is at 3 o'clock, and he's been
15
waiting
minutes
for
per
3
call?
hours.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
神戸のおじいとおばあが来たで。
天
Oh
気ええ
my
けど
gosh.
神戸よりちょっと寒いな横浜は。
Well, it's by the water.
でどないやったんやまちこちゃん。セリちゃんの結果。
そうや電話あったんやろジャックさんから。
Okay, so,
Yeah.
all right.
Here we go.
I think that was a very smart decision on Serica's part to just be like, I don't need to be the one to get the call. Someone will get the call. I won't stress about it.
Yeah.
I'll go somewhere else.
This feels like a real place in Japan. Like, I feel like I've seen a lot of anime with this specific orientation of graves and walking spots and things like that.
Yeah.
日記持って帰るね。続きはまた来年。
Yeah, good.
父さん。
ただいま。
了解まで秘密。それよりさ、
ピコ2つあるんだけど、
Yeah.
どっちか食べる？
食べないっつったら両方食べる気だな。
もう両方かじっちゃった。
So you gotta have one.
あげる。
Oh!
それよりこっち来て覗いてみな、セリカ。
What is it? Oh, cells.
だねこりゃ。
おいおい、今踊んなって。パピコが飛ぶ。
大丈夫だよ。
Oh, just easily excitable and
細胞とかを検査する病理医だから、こっちの小さい宇宙専門だけどな。
It's a cool way to put it.
大きい宇宙にも行ってみたいんだよな。
I'm a walrus.
Yep.
私も宇宙行く。
Whoa. Whoa.
Just like that.
That was where it started.
それだ。あった。パピコ食べよう。
Oh.
Don't mind if I do.
はいまー。
Yeah.
ちょっと大丈夫？
Oh.
力が抜けちゃって。
立てる？
Oh. So we're gonna go with that he got this naturally, or was this a part of him studying strange?
I think it's just
like,
getting
stuff.
old.
Oh. It's a brain issue. Gotcha.
セリカ？ちょっと。
Yeah, we need to have a talk.
Okay, alright.
ね、入院することになったの。
え？
先生の話だとお父さん、脳の病気で、そのせいでだんだん体が動かなくなってくるんだって。
Hopefully he'll still be able to speak, because depending on the paralysis, that's like the worst part, is not being able to communicate with a person, even if they're in
Like,
pain,
is it gonna go full
it's-
Stephen Hawking, or?
見舞いは大丈夫だから、できるだけ行こう。
Okay.
セリカは学校の帰りとかに行ってあげて。お母さんは仕事の合間見つけていくから。
仕事
Yeah, she's doing the finances and stuff and looking over everything.
働いていたところにまたお世話になる。
Oh, and if she's been out of the workforce for a while,
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard, yeah. Okay, so it's a slow loss of motion and motor function.
お父さん、
He seems alert though, like...
Yeah, he seems to be doing pretty well.
退院っていつくらい？
Oh, and her thing is dance, and that's just...
Oh, yeah,
That's
that's...
the celebration of movement.
Okay.
Oh.
頼みがあるんだ。セリカ、日記を書いてくれないか？
Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
わかった。じゃあ退院するまで書くね。
I love the added thing of her saying while you're in the hospital.
Right.
Like she still has hope that he's going to one day be out of the hospital.
全部書くね。
Yep.
日記だけど、お父さんへの手紙みたいに。
Yeah, this isn't going to be a battle. This is going to be a crushing defeat.
パンはトーストにイチゴジャム。
Picture with the planets. I hope that wasn't just taken down and it's like more about to be put up on the wall. But I'll be keeping an eye on that with the potential time skip of her getting older. Don't read that entry, or
Yeah.
don't read it yet.
Don't read it while I'm here.
Right. That's probably what it actually was, yeah. Oh, she's so smart and clever and sweet. That's... Music is a powerful
Yep.
medium.
Oh, make a little night sky for him. Hey.
Not at all what we thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, she does the performance in the hospital for him.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, and is that like the last time he's gonna be able to clap for her?
Sure.
見たかったん
He already
だ
has the stuff on his
最後のと
hands.
こ、上手になったな
Probably just to keep him from accidentally like breaking stuff.
発
Or...
表会の DVD 置いてくね。最後今の方がうまく踊れたんだ。
何年にもなるかもしれない。
Yeah.
いつか決めないといけない。
But we have to make a decision on treatment. Yeah.
口呼吸器をつけるかどうか。だって考えておかないと。そういう病気なんだから。
Yeah.
Yeah, to force him to be able to breathe because he won't actually be able to,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
Yeah. That thing's been getting a lot of views, hasn't it? Yeah.
どうしたセリカ
He can still speak. Okay.
お父さんもいろいろ研究したんだけどな原因がわからない
Yeah, it's an area just we're still pretty much in our infant stage with regards to understanding the brain.
Right.
There's a lot of incurable brain-related diseases.
どうだ日記書いてるかセリカ
Yeah, that change in tone. That was Okay, we're in his office, yeah. She's gonna start reading. Yeah, that's that determined look. Okay. Wow. Oh. Yeah, doesn't need to go into the bathroom.
Nope, not holding on quite as tight. Yeah.
違う、お父さんの病気治す。
えじゃあ医者になるのか宇宙飛行士になりたいんじゃなかったのか
向井千秋さんだってお医者さんで宇宙飛行士だよ。国際宇宙ステーションの希望の中は実
She's like, I did research too.
験を生かした医学実験ができるんだって。重力がなければ綺麗なタンパク質の結晶が作れるから脳の病気の原因も地上よりちゃんと研究できるんだよ。
Whoa.
だから宇宙だと治療法も見つかるかもしれない。
That you can't discover here, yeah.
病気も治せるかもしれないよ。
驚いたな
今勉強中なの。
そうか
Wow.
セリカが医者の宇宙飛行士か早く見てみたいな
He's doing so much to stay so strong. Oh, she got the call. That was good. Oh, it's too early. Yeah, you have
Yep.
plenty more tears to shed.
That's right.
We're double fisting, yep.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you're never too old. This episode was sponsored by... Yeah, a dancing Dr. Astronaut.
Yep.
Oh. Wow, that episode
Alright.
breezed by.
Yeah.
I'm
Whew.
impressed that was 22 minutes.
I love that with fiction, you can know exactly where it's going,
Yeah.
right? You know, and that don't change it.
There's something powerful about a simple, you know, low ambition, but just very, you know, well executed,
Right.
emotional story. Because we're emotional beings.
Right.
We're all human.
Oh, yeah.
We've all had things, not exactly the same, but, similar. Mm-hmm. Loss.
Yep. Yeah.
But also holding on to a dream that you've made yours.
Right.
But that person that you lost ended up, pushing you and inspiring you and strengthening you and lifting you up to where you could get there.
All right.
Okay.
We got a Serika episode.
It's
Wonderful.
What we expected.
Yep. It was
full
great.
Serika backstory episode. We knew a lot about what happened with her dad.
Right.
We got a lot of the details really here. We got also a really well kind of, executed, simple, just kind of a full picture of the story with a lot of like directing decisions to showcase the progression of time and how she solidified her dream not just to be an astronaut, but be an astronaut that works to save people and research diseases and stuff like that.
Right, because why not? You're already going to be an astronaut, be a doctor too. Like
and then why not also then try to test things in zero gravity?
Yeah,
like
and
it's so freaking cool.
And if you're going on the path to become an astronaut and a doctor, you're damn right that you enjoy all the food you eat along the way. You eat as many as many sugary, like kids sweets or whatever that you goddamn want.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, you go for it.
Yeah, do anything to keep that like fiery
vim and vigor and just
zest
all right,
alive.
let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you need to double fist the the Serpico or whatever they're called. I don't know what
Drop the Krispy Kreme.
Serpico, yeah.
Yeah.
This did feel like almost like a sponsor kind of thing, but
did.
that's my cynical ass, so ignore me. So
if it was Pizza Hut,
it's more of a nostalgic thing for Japanese kids, most likely. So, okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
This was great because it's something where both this episode and the previous episode were very emotional ones, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But there was an element of where with Makabe, there was a lot of information that we just didn't have, right?
Yes.
Why did he want to be an astronaut? All of these things, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas with Serika, we had all the information.
She wore her heart on her sleeve.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
But this was the in-depth sort of slow burn where we get to see all of the emotions and get to the point where we feel them alongside her, right? And that's what's really important because, just having like you can hear about I want to cure a specific thing.
Because I lost a family member.
I lost a family member and so it's like, oh yeah, totally. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most adults have lost somebody.
Right. Like
age. So it's very relatable. It's very understandable. But it doesn't get at the emotion of like, oh,
it doesn't
no.
get inside.
From a young age, I watched my dad slowly but surely die and waste away in a hospital bed.
Yep, and that's
his fire, his spirit, his heart for not just me, but also for space and for all this stuff didn't go. It stayed there, and he quietly fought a battle that I could never understand and probably never even fully appreciate until probably Serika was much older, which we don't really get into in this episode. We focus primarily on her being a kid and just thinking back to those times.
But oh man, the
emotions worked for me.
I mean, what seeing a parent in prolonged suffering that you can't do anything about?
Oh yeah, that's not relatable for us specifically at all. No, but I was gonna say also that in a lot of ways, because like you were saying, it's not about whether we know it's gonna happen or not. It's just there's lots of little micro decisions, little visual choices in terms of the way this episode was either like directed or storyboarded or what have you, to have little things like the way that she doesn't go to the bathroom for that final visit.
Yeah, doesn't quite hold on to the bed sheet quite so tightly. Or
that was him holding on to the bed sheet, I think.
Oh no, that was her.
That was her?
Yeah, because
gotcha.
she's holding on to it real tight.
Gotcha.
And then when she like asks him and he deflects, right, then she squeezes down even harder, right? But then at the end, it's just I found a way to basically process this and deal with it. Even though there was, like, she probably knew that, like, or there was some part of her that knew that she was going to lose her dad, right? Like that.
Yeah.
The amount of time that she had, from the, all right, I'm going to try and figure out how to do this to, how much time her dad had left. Yeah, there was probably some part of her that as time went on, she realized it wasn't going to work, but she's of course still going to do it, right? Like, and
because she made the decision a long time ago, back before he was sick, and not just the decision was made there, she like confidently proclaimed it while dancing and enjoying her favorite snack. It became a core memory for her. It became something that was cemented into her identity, and you can't underestimate the power of those moments, especially when there's a person that you love involved in them as well.
Yep.
Because you can have a lot of these moments happen while you're solitary, and they will shape who you are. But if you have one with like one of the most important people ever in your life, also there, building the foundation of that into who you are, holy shit! Like, you're rock solid sometimes. Like, I mean, obviously it can still waver and break, but like it can go so much further.
Yeah. And I loved the way that they showed Serika's different kinds of expression over the course of the episode.
Yeah.
Whether it was, her dancing or double fisting the sweets or drawing the flip animation of the tree.
Oh, I thought you were talking about facial expressions. Like,
oh, sure. I mean, that too. But like just the ways in which we got to know the kind of person that Serika is and was, so that as she starts to make these decisions, especially the ones that seem so kind of outlandish, right? That, plenty of kids say that they're going to be an astronaut, right? But not a lot of kids end up being astronauts, right? This is something like, not just I want to be an astronaut, I will be an astronaut. Once it's maybe like I can do this thing because this astronaut's also a doctor. All right, sure. She just starts reading stuff on how does brain work, and that's that kind of thing I think is really, really good, because it just goes to show how, with something as difficult as what she ended up setting out to achieve, right? Doing two very difficult professions at the same time, that's what it looked like. It was just like she was having fun with it, but she was also like really focused. But
gotcha. Yeah. I really like that this episode focused on her primarily, and not just the mechanics of the way that her father was dying, basically. The only real thing that they brought up in that regard was we know exactly what the cause of it is. Not the cause, and we know what the effect of it is. And we know the point when her mother then was deciding with probably his parents whether to put him on a respirator or not.
Yeah.
And they did not answer that question for us.
Nope.
We never saw him with a respirator. So we don't know if they decided to do that in a way that would have given him more years.
Sure.
Or if they made a decision in that regard.
Yeah.
And in some ways, that's where not the stakes, but I would say the ambition of the episode's themes and storytelling kind of stopped, and it capped the upper levels of it, because they could have gotten into the emotional resentment that comes from older family members being forced to make very difficult decisions with regards to that from many different angles. Sure. And instead of going into that, we kept things in Serika's point of view. And that's why I'm saying I'm very glad that they kept things from her perspective, because this is her remembering back to that moment and those specific key things that were instrumental in making her be the kind of person who would get a call from JAXA saying, congratulations, you're now an astronaut. And anime, in my opinion, does get away with this a lot, in that we kind of expect the backstory with a third-person omniscient perspective a lot, and just to suddenly just tell us, the audience, everything that we need to know about a character or what have you, because we didn't have the time or the forethought to write it into the story beforehand.
Sure. Yeah.
So this is easier, basically. But no, we get only really her perspective the whole way through. It's painful, it's slow, it's arduous, and we see her finding some kind of inner strength that I'm baffled by. I'm impressed. Obviously, this is fiction, so we can have our characters do whatever we want.
But I believe that.
But
right?
I believe it because she ended up becoming a doctor and an astronaut.
Right.
It was the kind of person that actually could follow through with that.
There are exceptional people out there, and it's easy to look at someone who did something exceptional and just think that they were always exceptional. But when it comes right down to it, it's that there's obviously probably some of that in there too.
Well, there's exceptional circumstances.
Yeah.
And
but then there are also exceptional circumstances
and
and exceptional decisions, right? Yep. And it wasn't just some casual decision, right?
No.
Both with the original I'm going to be an astronaut, but then also with the okay, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to cure my dad, right? Even if that didn't end up, happening, right? She didn't have the time for that. She did become a doctor. And that's very uplifting, right? Even though the circumstances of it are very sad.
Yeah, this is a very uplifting story in general. The one thing, there's a tiny detail that I would have loved for them to show her room as she grew up, because there was something that I was wondering if they were going to bring up again. But there was a picture of the solar system's planets, like the outer planets specifically there.
Oh, yeah. It's like resting on the floor, yeah.
Yeah, it's showing basically Saturn and beyond, basically. Now, it's resting on the floor. Now, this is after the diagnosis is had, but it's also after she's decided to become an astronaut. So I don't know if that's just they didn't hang it on the wall ever, but I kind of got the headcanon immediately of, for a time, either she wavered and considered putting away this space idea.
Yeah.
Because, it's not a thing. Or it's no, I want this to be put in there to remind myself that, I have Dad's dream. I'm going to stick with this. And I think, given that she succeeded in her dream, she's the kind of person who brought this into her room to be no, I'm gonna stay fired up about space.
Absolutely.
I'm going to visualize specifically what this means, not just to me, but to my dad.
Right.
And that gives me hope. Now, obviously, she's a kid. She might not be thinking this intently about it.
Sure, but I think, while it's very much it's based on the decision that she makes, and that being a strong one and one with conviction. It's also something where, as a result of that process, you'd get very good at keeping yourself on task, right?
Yeah.
And in order to do something like be an astronaut and a doctor, and with how relatively young she was when this started and everything,
right,
she'd learn that very quickly. And so I think that absolutely makes sense, right?
Also, I will say, journal. You as the viewer. Journaling is a sign of, not just a sign of intelligence in my regard. It helps boost intelligence, in my opinion. It gets you to reflect. It gets you to spend time dedicatedly focusing on a daily task that you then build confidence within yourself as you do the thing.
Yeah, being someone who is consistent,
Right, but have a goal specifically with the journaling. And the fact that the dad was able to give that to her was such a sweet thing, because I don't think the show is ever going to acknowledge how important that is. But journaling is not just important from I think a lot of people think journaling is either a mental health thing or it's it's a cute thing, It's not.
Sure, because the personal health and everything from taking time to process your own thoughts and feelings
is great.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. But there's another whole vector here. There's a whole other way for this, which I think is just that it actually helps build your faculties and everything else about you as a person.
Well, sure. I mean, I feel like that. Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence that the person who's both the doctor and the astronaut in this story, even though, yes, this is fiction, is also the person that seems the happiest.
Yeah.
Right? Because, if you think about just in the most literal sense of the words, mental health, health of the mind, why would that be relegated to just emotional or, psychological, right? Why wouldn't that also be in the technical,
Yeah.
In the same way that language dictates thought, right?
Yep.
Or at the very least guides it.
It forms the
structures with how we,
aesthetic and function.
Yeah, exactly. Then that totally makes sense that, that would be the case here. And also that she would keep hold of that childlike part of herself and the wonder and the enjoyment.
Yeah.
Because if she learned how to be, if she learned how to be dedicated and disciplined at the time when she was still like
really young,
and as the way to make herself feel better, right? As a way to
talk
process,
to her dad.
to talk to her dad and process, what was going on and everything,
Yeah.
and to make there still be sunshine, right? Then of course that would extend into adulthood, because there's there isn't that you're an adult now and now life gets to crush you. It's like no. I already rose to the challenge when I was seeing sunshine and rainbows and cotton candy, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
You think I'm gonna somehow lose that?
Right,
now?
right, no.
Like that? No.
That was trained into me.
Right, the cotton candy is an important part of the academic process.
Yeah, the little page flipping animation, frames and stuff were just a joy. But I think another thing that I just want to gush about this is that, this is again a headcanon.
Sure.
It's something that I think speaks to me, is that the dad realizes he has an incurable brain disease. He's going to lose movement in his body.
Yeah.
Any smart person thinks ahead and goes, okay, what's the worst case scenario for this for my daughter and for me here?
Sure.
Obviously death, but on the way, I think personally is that I might not be able to speak with her. There's going to be a point where she's going to be able to speak to me and I won't be able to speak back to her. And to me, the idea of having something written, the idea of having something that's going to be there, it's not just that this is something that he won't be able to write down something for her, but I almost get the impression that he's like, I want her to make this a portion of our communication.
Sure.
Because at some point
it's going to be taken away.
Well, it's going to be taken away, but also I might want to use this type of communication as well through someone else writing it down for me or what have you.
Right, or I won't be able to necessarily ask her for this in the future. Yeah. Yep. 100%. 100%. Yeah.
But
great stuff.
Really good episode. Sarika's in, obviously, of course.
Yeah.
In some ways, she was more of an in for me than even Makabe Kenji. So now I'm like Muta,
right.
just like, hey, Jack's up. But
I mean, hey,
you forget about me, Jack's up.
they could go to our JoJo eyebrows, fella, before they go to Muta.
Suddenly, Nita's JoJo ass. What was he, like a personal trainer? Like he was like a.
He was some kind of it was some kind of, but more specialized than just personal training.
Right. No, he was in he was in like a physical science or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But that would be cool. I'd be totally down for that. I'm loving the way that this show is doing backstories in general. So I
could definitely see Nita though not making it in, because it's you made it this far. All right, good job, dude. You're not one of the main three, right?
That's true. That's true.
We had it clearly set up of who the main three were going to be, and that they were going to do this, and they'd go the distance. Oh
boy, they put us through the ringer for the emotional roller coaster on the way there.
Yeah,
but
let's get Muta.
Yeah, let's get Muta.
So, if we get Nita, that's great too. But
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You got an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See anything that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.